Hi, welcome to Chad's Silversmithing. Something that I've been thinking about for a while but I haven't gotten around to trying is there are occasions, especially because I like kind of brutalist looking jewelry, where I want to have a really coarse, kind of rough surface on a piece of metal, and hammering it mostly provides kind of a symmetrical sort of surface. I wanted something that's more like randomly gouged, like it's been run through a garbage disposal. um, and so for this one, I was going to spend some time doing some experimenting, but when I was trying out some stuff, I actually found something that works really well for what I was trying to do. So I'm going to use a wheel burr, which is kind of looks like a little saw blade that you stick in your rotary tool. And it works pretty well to gouge the metal up pretty roughly. So we're going to gouge up a piece of 10 gauge square wire and make a little cuff bracelet out of it, and then oxidize it, I suppose. We'll see how that turns out. Before we do that, I wanted to thank some people. I have a new patron over on Patreon. It's Kimmy. Thank you for signing up. I appreciate your support. I think you'll find that it's a really nice community with a lot of cool people and quite a bit of knowledge over there, so make sure to tap into that. I wanted to thank all of my patrons, though, for their continued support and for the positive input I get from them. They're really a nice group of people, and without their support, I probably couldn't do this, so thank you for that. The other group are my YouTube subscribers, and we just hit a really big benchmark, which is 25,000 subscribers. I did not think in my wildest dreams when I first started this channel that I would ever have that many people watching my stuff. And so I have a lot of gratitude towards my YouTube subscribers. I know in every video I express some thanks to them for their input and for their contributions and things like that. But honestly, the kindness I've received from my YouTubers and the nice comments and the support and the suggestions and people sharing their knowledge, all of that stuff is amazing and wonderful, and I never expected to receive that kind of a welcome on the internet, so thank you for that. Thank you also, as always, for your support, both moral and financial. I appreciate the purchases and the super thanks and buy me a coffees and things like that. All that stuff makes my channel sustainable, and I couldn't do it without your help, so thank you for that. All right, well, let's beat up this piece of wire and see if we can make it look kind of brutalist. This is one of my design idea sketchbooks that are available on my merch store. This particular one has a gauge to inches to millimeters conversion chart. Many of the other ones have different charts and or information about metalsmithing that is useful, so check some of these out. The real feature that's the best about them, I think, is the dot matrix in the background, which helps me to draw better pictures, because I don't draw freehand very... it's hard for me to draw a straight line freehand. So, and it's a great place to keep track of your projects. Since I started doing the YouTube channel, I started keeping track of each project, and it's nice to be able to go back and see what I had in mind and how I did it, what sizes of wires and things that I used. So it's convenient to be able to revisit those things. So get yourself one or two of these. They're really convenient. And they're on sale right now for 20% off. Everything on my merch store and my website is on sale for 20% off through the 5th. So get yourself a present. So this is what I had in mind. It's just going to be a simple piece of 10 gauge square wire, so it's not going to be a complicated project. In fact, we're not even going to need to solder anything, I don't think. I thought about doing a texturing hammer, and I thought about using a knife and kind of hitting it with a knife or a small kind of hatchet sort of thing. But honestly, to get that torn kind of gougy look that I'm looking for, which I did a little bit of a trial run, where did I put that, to see if we could get some kind of really messed up looking gouges. And that's kind of what I was hoping for, big gashes in it. So my thought is we'll do that down the whole length, just on the top, not so much on the bottom, if we can avoid it. And I'm going to run a polisher across it, and then I'm going to oxidize all the low spots, and then use a real flat felt wheel or something with some white diamond or some zam to really highlight the high points. And we'll see how that looks. But I may bend it into the shape that I want it to be first, because I don't want to distort the marks after I've made them. So I think I think let's bend this into a cuff bracelet shape. So let me grab my bracelet mandrel. 10 gauge square is 2.6 millimeters if I remember correctly. Square wire has a tendency to try and turn on you like that when you're bending it. So you may need to periodically stop and fix that little tilt that it creates. You can also switch sides up and which sides down periodically so it doesn't curve too much in one direction. Using these nylon jawed pliers when you're trying to bend something that's pretty stiff, sometimes handy. I think we can call this a beginner project probably, since we're not even going to solder anything. I suspect, though, even though this is simple, there's quite a bit of silver in it. And people like bold, unusual stuff. So I think you might be able to sell it for more than you think. You know? I have a feeling it's going to look kind of artsy when we're done. It'll be avant-garde, and you can sell it in a Beverly Hills boutique or something. Somebody told me today in the comments that they like my videos, but my voice and the sound that my torch makes, which kind of sounds bubbly over the when I record it, is soothing, and they fall asleep whenever they watch my videos. And I said, you know, using my videos as a sleep aid is an acceptable reason to watch them, I think. If that's what you want to do. It's honestly not the first time someone has told me that they watch them before they go to bed because it helps them to fall asleep. So I fall asleep watching videos a lot. Okay, I'm just kind of cleaning up the ends here. I cut this to about 6 inches, I think. Alright, so here's what a wheel burr looks like if you haven't seen it before. They look like a little saw on a stick. And so we'll put that in the Dremel. And I think I might clamp this in my miter vise jig just to hold it while I'm doing this. So it's easier to hold on to it. It doesn't transmit as much heat to my fingers because I think it might get hot when we're doing this. I'll just take different portions of it and we'll start to do the outside. I don't want it to be rough on the inside though, so I'm going to try and kind of keep it mostly on the outside edges here. But I do want it to be random and chaotic. So let's go over to the dremeling area and we'll see if we can start making some texture on this. Okay, so we got that on our Dremel here. I got it on the slowest speed. See, it It actually, because it's spinning, it pulled it around the piece, and I got a little bit on the bottom. I'm going to try and avoid that if I can. As you can kind of see, it's kind of a fun sort of. Just work our way down, I guess. Got myself there a little bit. Nothing fatal. Okay, I'm going to do a little polishing on it, and then maybe we can oxidize it. So I got it all kind of polished up. I think it looks pretty nice. I did wash it off and to get the polishing compound out of most of the cracks. I think that's a success. I like that a lot. It's very eye-catching because of all the little cuts in it and the gouges. So I like it. I may oxidize it or I may not oxidize it. I'm not sure. So whatever I do, tell me if you think I made the right choice in the comments, because I'm curious what you think. So, oh, the other thing is I did cut myself a little bit with that bit, so do be careful if you're doing something like this. Perhaps secure the piece a little better than I had, but either way, I don't want you to hurt yourself, so take all the precautions you need to keep yourself safe. So, all right, well, I'll get some better pictures and put them at the end. Okay, well, that was texturing a piece of metal with a wheel burr. Again, be a little careful with it. They do kind of skip around on you when you're using them, so you don't want to get yourself. Make sure to always use proper safety protocols. If you enjoyed this or found this useful, make sure to hit the like button before you go. That really helps to get my channel promoted. And I would love it if you'd take a moment and go to my main channel page. I have 550 plus videos now. I've been doing this almost 4 years now, and at 3 videos per week for that time, there's a pretty good pile of content over there. Some of it's really useful, I think, and there's a lot of project ideas over there. So check some of those out. I'd love it if you watched a few, and then make sure to subscribe to my channel. There's no cost to it, and it helps me, and it allows you to find my channel more easily. So the other thing is check the video description down below. There's some important links there if you're interested in finding out more about my Patreon. It's a nice community over there. It's got multiple tiers of membership. Lowest one being getting rid of the YouTube advertisements, with still getting all the videos. After that, there's some other perks like live streams, and I do occasional, almost weekly Patreon exclusive videos with some of their input. And so it's a great community over there with a lot of cool people and a lot of knowledge you can tap into. So check it out if you want to. There's a link to my ebooks. Each one is covering all of the tutorials that I did in a particular year. 2024 is the most recent one, and it has 170 plus pages. Each page is devoted to a particular video that I did during that year. It has a picture of the sketch that I drew originally, the final outcome, a list of materials it took to make the piece. It has a sort of subjective difficulty rating, and some notes that I made about the project, things that I learned, things that I might do differently if I was to do it again. Did I think it was a good project? Did I like the outcome? Did I not? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. So even when you don't like the outcome, sometimes you can learn something. So yeah, get yourself one of those. There's a package deal if you get both 2023s and 2024s. And additionally, right now, I'm in the midst of my Black Friday sale, which goes through I think it's December 5th, maybe? I started it yesterday on Friday. So if you're watching this right after I release this, there's 20% off everything in both my merch store and on my website. Both of the links are in the video description down below if you're interested. So it's a good time to get yourself a present or get a present for somebody else, since everything's 20% off. So thanks for watching today. Take care. Happy silversmithing.